Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 2nd, 2024 and Joan Laporta has given an extremely interesting interview where he has left many headlines. Also, Xavi Hernandez has spoke out once again about the reasons for him to leave his post as Barcelona manager at the end of the season. And finally, it's been revealed that Oriol Romeu tried to leave Barcelona during the winter transfer market. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. And before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, we'll begin with the news that the Barcelona president, Joan Laporta, gave an hour-long interview to a local radio station in Catalonia, where he left several headlines. Today we're going to be discussing all the different topics that Joan Laporta talked about. Now, starting with Xavi's decision to leave, Joan Laporta said, "I heard the news after the Villarreal game. It was surprising because we hadn't planned for it. Xavi is an honest person. At first I thought it was because of the defeat, but I saw that he had thought about it, reflected on it, and believed it was the best thing to free the team and himself. I thought that this was the best thing for the club. I replied that if we had to fight for his continuity, we would do it. I told him that I accept this formula only because it's you, because of your Barcelonism and professionalism. You took the team in difficult times. Last year, he won a very difficult league and the Spanish Super Cup. I want Xavi to continue until the end of the season. If he continues until the end, it's up to him. I'm not going to sack him no matter what. He doesn't deserve it. He deserves that we trust him. We accepted this formula only because it was Xavi. Otherwise, we would have sacked him." So Joan Laporta making it very clear that he had no idea that Xavi Hernandez wanted to resign up until the night that Xavi Hernandez made the announcement, which was the night of the Villarreal defeat. And also Joan Laporta making it clear that if it wasn't Xavi Hernandez, he would have sacked him, and that he's only allowing Xavi Hernandez to stay until the end of the season because of who he is, which is a very important point, because I believe that Xavi Hernandez has gotten a lot of leeway in Barcelona given his legendary status at the club. And if it was a different coach, I think it would have been sacked a long time ago. Now, I will be discussing this in a separate video, which I will upload later today, talking about the statements that Xavi Hernandez made during his press conference. Now, Joan Laporta was also asked about the possible replacement for Xavi as first team coach. And in regards to that, the Barcelona president said, "It's in Deco's hands, the new coach. We are working on different options. I am focused on the end of the season. I have to keep a cool head. I have full confidence in Xavi until the end of the season. This is Deco to decide. I have not spoken to any coach. Things are limited. A coach with a certain track record has to come in, unless we make a more imaginative decision." So Joan Laporta stating that it's not going to be up to him who will be Barcelona's next manager. Instead, it's going to be up to Deco. And in regards to that, on one hand, I do like that, because I did complain in a previous video about Joan Laporta trying to make all the decisions for himself and not separating the roles for different people. So I think in this way, Joan Laporta is improving on that, where he's allowing the sporting director to choose the next coach, which is the sporting director's job to choose the next coach. But on the other hand, I am a bit worried whether Deco would be able to pick the right coach, because after all, he has no experience as sporting director. But I guess after all, we should trust him, because that's who Joan Laporta trusts. Now, I do have to say that I'm glad that Joan Laporta is not just throwing names out there. I don't think we should just throw any names out there like some people are doing, like saying Flake or Klopp or whoever. I think we first need to understand and realize what kind of project we want, what kind of football we want to play, and then based on that, pick what coach would fit that project, rather than doing it the other way around, where we would pick a coach first and then see what project he wants to build. I think we first need to understand what kind of football we want to play, and based on that, pick our coach. Now, Joan Laporta was also asked about the Nike deal, and as I've reported many times before, there's currently tension between Barcelona and Nike, with Puma trying to swoop in and become Barcelona's next main sponsor. And in regards to that, the Barcelona president said, "We have a relationship that is not desirable. We haven't been resupplied with material. Not everything has been on schedule, and the market pays us twice as much as Nike. I can't name names. There are interpretations about how the contract is broken until 2028. With Nike, we have been with them for more than 20 years, and in difficult times, they have not come forward. We want to find the best solution. There are three options: to stay with Nike, to accept what the market offers us, which would pay us much more, and there's the option of doing it ourselves through Barca licensing and merchandising, BLM." So Joan Laporta confirming what I've been talking about in previous videos, which is that the relationship between Barcelona and Nike is currently not good, because Barcelona has been complaining that the Nike contract is way below market value, also complaining about not receiving merchandise on time, and even Nike not producing enough merchandise for Barcelona to sell. And as such, Barcelona are now weighing their options, and Joan Laporta did not want to mention any names. But of course, as I've mentioned many times before, Puma is right there waiting for things to happen, because they do want to become Barcelona's main sponsor. Now, Joan Laporta also talked about the possibility of Barcelona doing it themselves through BLM, and I think that would be an interesting option. But nonetheless, we still want to keep our options open, and one of those options open, as Joan Laporta said, is to continue with Nike. But of course, for that, Nike would have to want or accept to pay much more, or at least to pay market value, which they currently are not. Now, Joan Laporta also talked about the Enriquez Negreira case and Real Madrid and what they're doing through Real Madrid TV. And in regards to that, Joan Laporta said, "We pay for referee reports, not to pay referees. I don't know Negreira personally. This started in Núñez's time. We all met him. It was technical and refereeing advice. They can't prove that they were buying referees. I trust in justice, and we will be acquitted. Madrid are not behaving well. They are being cynical in a way that is unacceptable. Judge Joaquin Aguirre has extended the investigation process at the request of Real Madrid, as provided for in the procedure. What Madrid television is doing is a disgrace. If they have any decency, I don't understand how they do it. The referees committee, the federation, should act. I've always been against VAR. You lose spontaneity. If one referee gets it wrong, imagine 5 or 6. I have always said it. The misuse of VAR harms referees. Madrid is one of the most benefited by VAR. So Joan Laporta talking about the Enriquez Negreira case and saying that he's sure that justice will be met and that Barcelona will be fully acquitted, because Barcelona did not bribe any referees and that they only paid Enriquez Negreira for refereeing reports. And I do have an update about the Enriquez Negreira case, which I will talk about in a separate video, which I will upload in a few hours. Now, Joan Laporta also criticized what Real Madrid TV are currently doing, calling it shameless, and also saying that Real Madrid are being cynical with the Enriquez Negreira case. And I have to say that I agree 100% with the Barcelona president, because as we already know, there's absolutely no evidence that Barcelona bribed any referees in the Enriquez Negreira case. But despite that, even if there was some truth to that case, I think Real Madrid are the last club to complain about these things. Real Madrid have benefited from refereeing calls for their entire history. And also what they are doing is in fact influencing the competition through the Real Madrid TV and publicizing documentary after documentary, criticizing referees, putting pressure on referees. And we have seen that this has indeed worked, with referees now terrifying on making calls against Real Madrid, whether it be red cards or penalty kicks, as we've seen over and over again this season. So even if the Enriquez Negreira case had any truth to it, I think Real Madrid are the last club that can complain about things, because they've always benefited from refereeing. They are now putting pressure on referees like they accused Barcelona of doing through the Enriquez Negreira case, and we all seen that it's actually working. Now, Xavi Hernandez at the pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's clash against Alaves was asked about Joan Laporta's words that if it wasn't Xavi Hernandez, the coach of Barcelona, he would have been axed. And in regards to that, Xavi Hernandez said, "If the objectives are not met, I will have to leave. The president says so, and it will happen to the next coach. When I arrived, we achieved the objective, even with the chance to fight for the league. The second season was very good. But in the third, we are not meeting expectations. I am no exception. What the president says is what I said a month and a half ago, and that is why I have decided to leave. I'm not leaving because of the press or because of my mental health. I'm leaving because the objectives and expectations are not being met. So Xavi Hernandez clarifying that he's not leaving because of the criticism he's receiving from the press or the fans, or because of his mental state and the pressure that he's been feeling, but he's leaving because he understands that objectives are not being met and that he's not the man of the job, and as such he needs to step aside in order for Joan Laporta or Barcelona to bring someone who can meet the objectives of the club. Now we will end today's video with the news that it's been revealed that Oriol Romeu tried to leave during the final days of the winter transfer market. Now Barcelona signed Oriol Romeu in the summer from Girona after Oriol Romeu had a spectacular season with the Catalunya team, being one of the best pivots in La Liga. But unfortunately for Oriol Romeu and for Barcelona, things have not worked for Romeu at the club, where his minutes have been dwindling week after week. And it's now being revealed that Oriol Romeu tried to leave during the final days of the winter transfer market, but Barcelona said no because they weren't looking to offload any players, because they considered that any players leaving the club during the winter would be weakening the squad. Now today, Girona's sporting director Quique Carcel confirmed this when he said, "From minute one, I have always said that Oriol is an important player, but he is at Barca. If we could have, we would have worked for his return, although the regulations made it impossible." So Girona sporting director Quique Carcel confirming that Girona indeed tried to bring Oriol Romeu back, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't because of the regulations or the financial fair play. And of course, Barcelona would have had also said no. So there's no way for Girona to bring back Oriol Romeu during the winter, but of course the summer will be a different story. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.